So after the fantastic first part of this morning at Buddhist Stupa, I've now taken a taxi across Kathmandu for about £6, UK pounds, to a place called Thamel, which was recommended to me by a Nepali friend of mine in the UK. So Roshi, thank you if you're watching. Hopefully I can do you justice with this video, but this is the street that I'm going to walk down and find out what Thamel is all about. So a little bit about Thamel. It is to the west of the centre of Kathmandu, so I'm very much central now, but just slightly offset to the west. And it is a famous area for tourists, so apparently there's a lot of shops, and it's the place to come as well for nightlife. So not that I'm a night person, I tend to get up early and go to bed early, so I don't think I'll be seeing the nightlife that Thamel has to offer, but let's see what it does have to offer during the daytime. This wonderful Nepali artwork, I absolutely love that one of the mountains and people, including the Sherpas there, going up the mountain. Lots of other different pieces of artwork as well. But one thing that does strike me about Kathmandu is how close together all the buildings are and how earthquake prone the city is, sitting right in the foothills of the Himalayas, which of course are on a tectonic plate. But there must be some kind of technique used to make sure that these buildings don't come crashing down when an earthquake does occur, as has happened many, many times. Just walked out from the streets into a square where we have a beautiful temple here, and I think if I was to go inside you could probably see somewhere where you can ring some bells, burn incense, etc., and then come back out here onto the square. I may not have chosen the best street to walk down, but at the end of it, it does look like there is some kind of temple, so one will persevere, although this is getting pretty sticky. Well, I chose not to persevere because that route was getting increasingly terrible, but the little side street that I've just taken has led me, hello, hi, led me into this square here, which looks fantastic. I'm afraid I can't tell you an awful lot about it because I don't actually know where I am. The pigeons of Kathmandu are better fed than me. There are many of my befeathered friends making all sorts of cooing noises, which I'm sure is what they normally do. But here in the background we have another wonderful stupa, and I'm just, whilst I hold the camera up, absolutely not trying to have a look at it on my phone to find out what it is. Aha! It is called the Kathmandu Stupa. So the Kathmandu Stupa, whoa! And there it is in all its glory. Oh wow, look at that building over there. Right, let's go and have a look at that. What a wonderful place. It's called the Drubgon Jangchup Choling. And again, I'm really sorry if I've completely and utterly butchered that, but it is it's a monastery. This little dude enjoying himself right in front of it, aren't you, fella? No judgment from me, you crack on. Hello, boy. So, walking now into the monastery area itself, which looks amazing. And then inside into the monastery. There's a huge golden Buddha in there, which you may not be able to see because of the reflection of the light, but it's incredible. Now, I'm only a couple of days into this Kathmandu journey, and I'm just walking to be honest, slightly aimlessly around. But everywhere you turn, there's something to see, there's something to look at. And I'm sure if I knew much of the history around it, I'd be able to share a lot more. But if you haven't been to Kathmandu, I would massively recommend it. It's one of the most fascinating cities I've been to. It is absolute bedlam down here. 1,000,001 motorbikes all trying to find their way. You're supposed to drive on the left, but I think frankly the idea here is where there is a space, fill it. Because if you don't, someone else will. Sleeping Doog. Sorry mate, I didn't mean to startle you. Here next to this little temple. And what you can't smell that I can is fried chicken. It smells great actually. Hello. Nice to see you. I think it's got to be one of the best parts of walking around a city as vibrant and that has as much culture as Kathmandu, because everywhere you turn and everywhere you look, there's either people making money, learning, crafting something, or riding their motorbikes. And I have no idea where all these people are going, but you can only imagine that they're trying to make a living one way or another. There we go, we've broken out onto another square now with another little temple. So I just walked past a jewellery shop where a guy was doing some cleaning, and the product that he was using, so the cleaning spray that he was using, was called Colin. And I took the opportunity to point out to him that that was my name, but I think he thought I was a bit weird and that I was possibly coming in to rob the shop, and sort of gave me a look to say disappear. So if I see any more Colin, I'll film it. Right, I seem to have somehow managed to find where it's all happening, and also managed to stand in the middle of the road, which is probably not the best move I've made all day. And the sun's finally broken out as well, which is good because it was already 28, so it'll be nice to be a bit hotter. Okay, with my internal globetrot satellite navigation, I've managed to come across Taleju Temple here, which is an incredible structure, enormous, and I seem to think I've seen it in films before. But let's have a look around and see what there is. Can I pet that dog? That is not for a particular time because it's only 9:44 in the morning. I would imagine that that is some way of making a prayer. So this certainly seems to be a particularly symbolic place for people to come and pay their respects. You see them queuing up there, and you can also get these neck garlands made for you, all of which is in the shadow of Taleju Temple just behind me. But as I walk around, you can see that this is quite a fascinating little square. So let's go and find out what the score is. Okay, so I've just had to pay 1,000 Nepali rupees to come and visit this particular site, which is about £7, I think. And I'm told that at 11 o'clock, which is in about an hour and 10 minutes, that I'll see a living goddess. So quite nice to know that Amber Heard will be here soon. Here we are inside the grounds of Taleju Temple, and once again there is a lot of pigeons, and I need to get through there, so I'm going to cause quite a stir, I think. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, please part way. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Just realised actually I'm now surrounded by pigeons. So this is almost like an audience with pigeons. What would you like to hear? Any stories that I can tell you? Whoa, okay, one just flew into my face. Oh no, she's gonna make them all come towards me, that's not cool. Absolutely spectacular. They certainly know how to build a temple over here in Nepal. Stunning buildings. I'm getting a real keen eye for this Buddhist, Nepali and Tibetan artwork. I think it's absolutely amazing. The only thing is it wouldn't look very good in my house at home. But does that matter actually? Does it matter? If I like it, who cares? Alright, so breaking out now onto a larger square, which I am almost certain David Beckham came to play football in several years ago. There's a programme where he played football across 7 days on 7 continents, and I'm sure he came and played here. This is a magnificent structure here. This white palace almost, this white building, and a opening here where it appears there are lots of markets, so maybe we can go and have a little look at that. But the building that I'm just walking past is called Gadi Baithak, and I'm afraid I have no further information on that at this stage. It's funny because before I travel I do quite a lot of research because I want to know where I'm coming, I want to make the best use of my time, and I try and learn as much as possible. But it has to be said, like, there's just so much here in Kathmandu to have a look at that I'm not really sure you can, well, you certainly can't learn in the short time that I had to prepare for this journey everything that you need to know. And so part of this video for me is just to make a record of everywhere I've visited, and then later when I get home I can research it all. Possibly not the most helpful perspective for you, the viewer, but if you want to have a look at this building online, please feel free and go ahead. Alrighty, so now I am in Durbar Square. Durbar Square being one of the UNESCO heritage sites, one of the seven UNESCO heritage sites that Kathmandu has, and this is a artifacts section in the centre of Kathmandu. Okay, thank you.
It's all 100.
They're all 100. It's very beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Morning price.
Thank you very much.
Have a look slowly.
It's okay. I'm good. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Little price.
Okay.
Big shop.
A few moments later.
I feel the more that I travel, the more that I need to learn to be a little bit more assertive. I have a tendency to want to be nice to everybody, which then means stopping and conversing and discussing everything that I see, or entertaining the conversation about buying things, which isn't very useful because I tend not to buy anything. Never mind, it's always nice to meet people. Ooh, a rooftop restaurant. Might have to check that out in a bit because I am hungry. Now, I really hope this comes across in this video, but this temple here in Durbar Square, these wooden windows, I suppose, all these dark wooden sections here have been handcrafted, and they have incredible detail all over them. And I hope that you can see that on the video, and if I get a little bit closer, that's as far as my arm can stretch, you can perhaps see that even just in that window alone, you know, there's little godlike images there, dragons in the centre, I think a Star of David, and then up here lots of different depictions, religious depictions. That is an incredible piece of artwork, and I certainly could get closer, but if you have a look now, you can just see some of this amazing individually carved wooden sections, and that's only in one very small section of a long wall. And all of the wood that you can see here, including this phenomenal, frankly, section above the doorway, has got an incredible amount of detail. You've got to have a lot of respect for the craftsmanship that's gone into building something like this. Okay, so coming inside the temple now, and it is extremely peaceful, but wow, it is jaw-dropping. All of the handcrafted woodwork, including here on these supporting pillars. It's absolutely magnificent. So I'm now standing in the Lohan, or the stone choke courtyard, that gets its name from the large piece of cut stone at the centre of the courtyard, which will be this central piece of stone here. And these stones are often placed in the Kathmandu Valley and across Nepal as an aniconic place of worship, often called Shakti Peeth, or power places, and special rituals are performed at these spots on particular days of the year. Oh, it's so peaceful in here. So this is the 9-storied palace. I really love the wooden artwork. It's absolutely amazing. I just can't get my head around how long it would have taken people to sit and do all of this with such intricate detail. Quite incredible. Here is the temple in all its glory. Ooh. An interesting chap there coming out with a gun with a bayonet on the end. So I found a little bit of information out about this place, and this 9-storied residence was built by King Prithvi Narayan Shah in 1717. It's called Basantapur Durbar. The whole complex is known as Kathmandu Durbar Square, but the palace was originally founded during the Licchavi period, but as it stands today, most of it was constructed by King Pratap Malla in the 17th century. The palace has been renovated many times, and the archaeological remains and art objects within the palace complex now are existing from Malla, Shah and Rana periods of Nepal. So this building stems all the way back to the 17th century, 400 years ago, and has withstood multiple earthquakes and has retained its absolute majesty. And I'm sure a lot of the reconstruction work that's going on, as you can see here, has been necessary to keep it in such amazing condition. So lots of old artifacts and exhibits here, which I imagine are part of the original structure from several hundred years ago, 400 years ago. Here's a little bit of information about the seismic reinforcement of the structures, and it does say that part of the old wood was damaged in earthquakes, but that they, here you can see, blend together wood and wires to keep the structure integrity intact. Here we have the late King Mahendra Bir Bikram Shah's Land Rover Jeep destroyed by a bomb attack in Janakpur on the 22nd of January 1962. Well, Land Rovers are known for their reliability and integrity, and you can see that even though it was subject to a bomb attack, it's fared pretty well. Although I expect that perhaps this side is where it took the impact. But there you are, the inside of the Land Rover from 1962 that was destroyed. Made in Solihull, Warwickshire. I just can't get over this architecture. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Stepping out now into the palace gardens, which again is just a lovely escape from the craziness of the high street. And just as I said that, I can hear beeps and honks of horns and all sorts going on. But actually in here, peace. There is a almost like a totem pole monument here with a cobra's head on the top. In the background there is the King's Land Rover, and as I pan around, other views of the temple. But down there are fish in there. I can see there are fish, but I have to say I won't be joining them. Gonna head back out onto the street now. Well then, wow is pretty much all I can say about the Basantapur temple. One of the most magnificent buildings I've been in anywhere in the world, and another huge thumbs up for Kathmandu. Definitely come and visit. All right, heading up to the terrace restaurant, the Durbar View restaurant now, and I can tell you that it smells amazing in here. It smells of like lavender incense. But as I continue my trek, hopefully we get some nice views like this. So then here is the view from the restaurant. Back down there to the square. The mountains in the background. That beautiful white building. And then that incredible temple that we'd just been in. Here. I don't think the restaurant's open, as it's quiet, but at least I got some nice pictures. I wish banks in the UK were called Lovely Saving and Credit Cooperative. There's not a lot of lovely saving to be done in the UK at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, so I've sat down, ready for a bite to eat in the Himalayan Java coffee restaurant. It is 10:30 in the morning, but I've been up since 4:30 local time, so for me it's lunchtime. Let's get it on. All right, well I just finished a delicious lunch, which was a Himalayan sandwich that had salami, chicken, pickles, and which was really good, in the Himalayan Java coffee shop. And now I'm just walking down the road here to go and get a taxi and head back to my hotel after a wonderful morning. So here we are at Kopan Monastery, which was about 2 miles from my hotel, right up in the hills. But whilst I'm here, I have to refrain from killing, stealing, lying, sexual conduct, intoxicants, including tobacco, and everything else. So, and for clarity, I think the killing just means anything, including small insects. So, I don't think anybody has necessarily come up here on a rampage. Well, I certainly hope not. Anyway, mind you, it'd make for a good video. Not that I'd be able to post it. Okay, I am a sucker for views. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the sight out over Kathmandu. Here from Kopan Monastery. I mean, words just can't adequately describe how beautiful that view is. I don't know if you can see, but a plane has just taken off. And I'm sorry if it's windy on my microphone. I've lost the fluffy thing that goes on the end of it. But a plane has just taken off. And in the distance where the airport is, which is this section here, I think there's some liquid sunshine on the way. So it's going to be quite a nice hour that I've got here. Oh, there's some over there as well, some liquid sunshine. But meanwhile, I am blown away by that. That is spectacular. Now, karma is something that we talk about a lot in the West, but I have to be honest, if you asked me to describe it, I would have said that what goes around comes around. But here it says that karma is not something complicated nor philosophical. It means watching your body, watching your mouth, and watching your mind, and trying to keep those three doors as pure as possible is the practice of karma. Now, I should probably say at this point that visiting Kopan Monastery is completely free of charge. However, if there is the opportunity to, I will leave a donation behind, because I think it's absolutely spectacular and it cannot be cheap to run something like this. This monastery does actually allow you to rent rooms. You can come and stay for an extended period of time. And I think the room cost is about $14 US or $20 US a night if you want 3 square meals as well. But the idea is that it's a retreat, that you come here and you know, pray and reconnect with yourself, really. Sounds quite nice, to be honest. Beautiful waterfall with that view out there over Kathmandu. And some music has just started in what I expect to be the main temple. As promised, my donation going in there. What an extraordinary privilege that has just been to see some Buddhist monks chanting and praying. I think they were just about to get their lunch, and so they are just making a prayer or saying thanks for what they're receiving. But outside the main hall, look at this artwork, which is all hand painted. Every single last part of this hand painted. It's probably just as well you're not looking at me right now and that you are looking at this, because my mouth is agape at how intricate, colourful and beautiful this is. And I wish I could understand what it means, but this chap has a sword, so I imagine there's some kind of war or a god there playing a banjo, or the Nepali version of a banjo. And then here, I'm afraid I don't really understand what it means, but it's phenomenal, it's beautiful. So if truth be told, not half an hour ago, I was laying on my bed in the hotel, slightly tired, having done over 10k this morning, walking around Kathmandu in 30 degrees heat. And I just so happened to be looking at things that I potentially could do tomorrow, the day after, etc. And I spotted Kopan Monastery on the map about 1.5 miles away from where I'm staying, but it wasn't on the list of the top 10 things to see. I would disagree, having seen what I've just seen. I mean, you make up your own mind, but for the fact that you get the view like that, but also the wonderful monastery building temple there that had that beautiful chanting and praying going on, I think Kopan Monastery has to be on your list of places to visit when you come to Kathmandu. Now, these fine chaps have found a perfect place to be, because without me blithering on, it's as peaceful as could be here. Good boys, or girls. So I'm back where my hotel is now, after that fantastic visit to Kopan Monastery, but I've spotted that there is a market opposite my hotel. So and I thought I'd come in and have a look at what's going on and what's being sold. Lots of beautiful vegetables. Coriander, or cilantro, I think that's often called. Beautiful aubergines, wonderful colours. Some courgettes or zucchinis and cucumbers. Cauliflowers. Chilies, which are a personal favourite. Mushrooms. Hi. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Namaste. All right, I had to make a pretty swift exit from the market and get back to the hotel because the liquid sunshine arrived. All right, tonight's meal comes direct from the room service order, and I am by no means a food influencer, and so therefore it is just displayed on the table in a way that happened. I have some steamed basmati rice. I have a Nepali curry here, which I'm really excited to get into. I have something here called a fulcra, which is like a little small roti. And then I also got some steamed vegetables because I'm feeling a little bit throaty and like I might get a bit of a cold.